The small town of Kuduthay in Kozhikode sent shockwaves throughout the nation in 2019 as a crime of unparalleled proportions came to light. The accused was the mother of two, Jolly Joseph, who had confessed to having killed 6 members of her own family. Over a span of 14 years, Jolly Joseph murdered her mother-in-law, then father-in-law, her husband, her uncle, and finally the 2-year-old daughter and wife of the man she wanted to be with. What we see in Jolly Joseph is a person who had a desire and was willing to do whatever it takes to achieve it. Nothing of that seems wrong at the outset. We all have desires we want to achieve. However, in Jolly's case, she was willing to eliminate whatever obstacles was in her way in order to get what she wanted, even if that meant committing murder. At first, we see that she desired full control of her husband's house. However, since her mother-in-law held that authority, she was unable to achieve her desires. So she eliminated her and took over the reins of managing the house. Secondly, when her father-in-law became suspicious of her activities, she eliminated him. When her marriage didn't meet her desired expectations, she poisoned her husband. When her uncle insisted on a post-mortem report, she killed him. After she had done away with her own family, she once again desired her husband to complete her family. In order to achieve this new desire, she found a possible partner in Shaju, a relative of her husband who had already had a family. She then took the life of his infant daughter and subsequently his wife. At every point, we see that she conceives of a desire, and if there are human obstacles in the way, she does away with them by taking their life. Instead of re-evaluating her desires in the face of the reality of the person who exists, she keeps the desire and does away with the person who is the obstacle to her aspirations. Through the span of 14 years, we see that her desires keep changing. Each murder to get what she wanted isn't satisfying enough because her desires, just like each one of us, can never be satisfied. It constantly pursues after the next one. The human journey is to harness these desires and allow the reality of life, such as the people involved, to help reshape our selfish desires in a manner that is appropriate. Our desires for our lives have to be grounded in and worked with the desires others have for theirs. In Jolly Joseph's case, we have the worst case of self-centered desire where she is willing to eradicate anyone so that only her will may be done. What shocked many was that she was a mother, yet she was willing to kill family members, including a 2-year-old girl, to achieve her desires. It is possible that killing a child would not have been conceivable for her before she committed her first crime. However, as she continued to commit these murders, she became less and less human. With each act, she began to replace her heart of flesh with a heart of stone. Qualities like empathy, love, and vulnerability were gradually exchanged for violence, malevolence, and objectification, ultimately transforming her into a full-fledged monster. But as in all stories, the journey of the monster always comes to a disastrous end. In this case, the defender comes in the form of another woman, her sister-in-law Renji, who was armed with a mission to speak for those who could no more speak for themselves. Through a miraculous revelation, she understands the holes in Jolly Joseph's stories and embarks on a mission to bring justice. Through her resilience, she is able to bring forces together that can finally take down the monster that Jolly Joseph created for herself. The infant imp of unfettered desires of the early 2000s had become a mammoth-sized monster by 2019, leaving behind a trail of dead bodies, broken families, grave trauma, and shattered lives.